Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Welcome to another Festive Friday. Today we're going to be doing this floating front card where the front looks like it's magically floating. It's not too hard to work out how the magic trick works, but anyway, that's the name of the card. So we'll go ahead and get it made, and I'll bring in the ingredients and show you how we do it. So first of all, I need the paper trimmer, and I have a piece of cardstock. This is Granny Apple Green, and it's 8.5 by 5.5. And what we need to do is score it as usual at 4.25. But then what we need to do is cut it so there's a 1 1/8 inch piece extra for the top of the floating part. So we've scored it at 4.25. We move it to 5.25 is an inch, and then an extra 8. So if you line the edge of the paper up at 5 3/8, you can just slice that off. And then when you fold it on the score line, you've got the top. Then what we need is a 1 1/8 piece for the bottom, and that's just a case of lining it up at 1 1/8 on the paper trimmer and cutting it off. This is spare for another project, but now you've got the top and the bottom, and we just need to do the inside and then build a floaty bit. So I'll put the paper trimmer away. Sorry, just rammed it into my camera stand. Not a very good move. And then what we need is a piece of basic white, and this measures 3 1/8 by 5 3/8. Normally I would put a whole piece in, but because this is so wonderfully textured, there would be nowhere to write. So I did that 3 1/8, and then I have another inch piece which is at the bottom, so you can see how it works. We've got the patterned piece for the front and the plain piece for writing on. So I ran that through this lovely new cut and emboss Forever Plaid 3D embossing folder, and it's a really rich, deep emboss. So let me go ahead and get these stuck to the inside of the card, although there isn't really a classical inside because the inside is also the outside, as you can see. So we'll just put some adhesive on these two pieces. We'll put this right up at the top, close to the fold, about 1/8 of an inch away from the fold. And then the white piece, the plain white piece, just goes at the bottom. So when the card gets closed down, you're not able to see it, but it's in there. So then what we needed to decorate the top and the bottom was some designer series paper. And again, I took the Take a Bow and used one of the other patterns. The last video I did had the one with all the leaves and the berries on. So I'm just going to attach this quickly to the two places where it goes. And these are cut at 5 3/8 by 1 inch. So it just lays lovely. And we'll pop this one where the top would go. So there we go. We've now got the top and we've got the bottom, and we just need the little piece that holds them all together. So what I did was I went ahead and die cut out using this wonderful collection. Look at it. It is called Decorative Tree Dies. These are all the spare ones I've made in all the different colours. So I took the plain one, and I took the plaid one, and I took this lovely curly whirly one, which, if you're British, all my British viewers will know curly whirlies are a lovely little caramel and chocolate bar. So I probably shouldn't have said that because now I want one. So I've got 2 trees made, but I will go ahead and make one so you can see the process. So I cut out a plaid tree in garden green, and I cut out a solid tree in Granny Apple Green. And then what I'm going to do is bring in my glue and just put some, hopefully, some little dots all over the back where the design is accommodatingly fat enough to house a glue dot. There we go, just a few in a few places. Oops, that one's going to be too big, in a few places. And then what we do is just put one on top of the other. They're both the same size, so there's no layering. And there's so many triangles, it's really quite easy to match them up. So that is the tree made. But like I say, I made two earlier because I wanted to make sure that I got them right and didn't gush glue everywhere. So now the way to fasten everything together. We're going to put this at the bottom of the card. Just have to hold it in place. And this is the top. And the tree is going to go between the two. So you can see the first little slanted part, there is going to be plenty to glue on and just at the top. So we could do it ZZ fold style, of course, and then you would know where the glue's going to go. So I'm going to bring back in my silicone mat and just put a little bit of glue at the top. And then a strip of glue across the bottom, because we know that that's the area that fits. So again, make sure that you've got your bottom piece lined up where it needs to be. And then you can just attach the tree and give it a second to hold it down so that it stays stuck. And then I'm going to do the same with the other tree. Oops. And then we just need to make sure that the bottom is lined up nicely and fasten this tree over to the right hand side. And again, just got to give it a little bit of a chance to take hold and stay stuck. So in the meantime, while I'm waiting for that to occur, in this set there is a lovely star die. So I took the star die and I actually took, believe it or not, some scraps of gold, which had been shiny gold, which had been in paper pumpkin kits when they were punched out, and I kept all the surrounds because yes, I am that hoarder. But these were nice sizable pieces, and I thought, you know what, I'll be able to use that for something down the line. And here we are, hoarding justified, which would probably make my husband just throw his hands up in horror or roll his eyes. But there you go. So put a little mini dimensional on and stick that. Come on. And stick that into place. And then peel the backing off the other mini dimensional and stick that into place. And then the card's not wide enough to house 3 of these big fat trees. So what I did was I just cut this wonderful filigree, remember curly whirly tree, and I am going to put glue on, but it literally just needs the tiniest schmeck of glue at the tippy top, down at the bottom. But I also found it just needed a tap on the bottom curls, because otherwise it gets caught and tries to pull off. So now we're going to stick that to this has sort of no structural element to it. It really is just pure decoration. So the top just sticks on, the bottom sticks on, and like I say, because I felt these had the risk of catching and pulling because of the biggest, widest ones, I thought I would just glue those down as well. And then last but not least, I have a teeny tiny slither of the 1/2 inch scraps that we speak of often. I actually cut it down to 3/8 of an inch. And then in the lovely peaceful season, there is love from our home to yours. So I'm going to stamp that in real red because it ties in with all the colours of the card. There isn't particularly any set length for this. It was just a piece of scrap that I had, and I cut it down to 3/8. But then what we're going to do is we're going to just do that little trick of bannering the edges. So cut them down to a reasonable length away from the word. So that's just scrap. That's why I didn't honestly have a particular length. So cut up the middle, and from each corner do that middle cut, gets rid of those, and again to the middle and from each corner to where you've cut to, and then you know your banner pieces are equal. And then again, I'm going to bring in the mini dimensionals and just pop 3 on there to support the length of it really. So peel the 3 backings off and pop that, whoops, across the bottom. I think what I need to do, I'm not sure that I did it actually, if I'm honest, is do the top with the bone folder so it stays flatter. So there you have it. 2 trees, a lovely filigree curly whirly. It's got the inside, it's got the plain piece so you can actually write a greeting. If you wanted to add an inside greeting, my advice would be perhaps to put it up here, and again you may need to leave it straight, but I just felt the greeting on the front sort of said it all, and then you can just sign love from me to you. So there you have it. All the directions and dimensions, of course, will be on my blog as usual. If you like what you've seen, please consider subscribing. Give me a thumbs up. I always like thumbs up. If you've got any comments or questions, pop those in the box below. I'll always try and get back to people and answer any questions that you may have. And last but not least, thanks so much for watching.